Hello! Today I'm going to show you, this is part one of this video right here on how to get this far in this beautiful picture. This picture is available on my Etsy channel. You can download it from there. And so in the next clip I'm going to start and I'm going to actually show you how to complete the picture at least up to this part. And this is the video one. Okay? Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, April 15th, and today on my daily vlog, I'm going to be doing this really pretty picture of this awesome bird in a tree. There's a cool tree back there. This one's going to be a kind of a very long, detailed video because I'm going to actually show you how to do a background on this one, and there's so much to do. There's birds, there's flowers, there's a lot of intricacies in this picture where we're going to practice a lot of shading, and I'm going to actually go through and show you how I do this one. The whole video I'm going to try doing step by step because a lot of times I don't put the actual coloring of the entire picture on the video. So this time I'm going to try it on this one so that you can totally just follow along if you get stuck. Okay, so what I'm doing is, this is going to be how the background looks here. Let me pull out a little bit here on my camera here. Alright, so what I'm going to show you here is how to do a cool background like this, because a lot of people are afraid of doing backgrounds. And so I'm going to do this one, but I'm now going to finish this part. The reason you see it like this is because I started the background this way, and then I started doing a tree back here, and this is a good example because sometimes pictures come out like this where, you know, you start it one way and then it just turns out a different way. So it just worked out, and I don't like the way that this looks. I mean, this background's nice too. You can do this technique with any color. So if you like it like that and you want this to pop out, you could do that. Or if you like this background like this, or however, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do it this way, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this part live on camera so you can see how to do this kind of a background. And then I'm going to continue on throughout the day today putting up videos for this picture because this is my vlog. I'm going to try to do a picture every day. But this one's a little bit more detailed, so this might take a little bit longer. But so I'm gonna get started here. This is what it looks like when you get it. This is on my Etsy store. It's there right now, so you can print that out. And this is how it looks when you get it. I printed on this is a 90-pound paper, which I bought of just a stack of them. They're like, it was like $5 or something, $6 for like 500 sheets. But it's thicker. It's 90-pound. And I have a 100-pound here too, which I really like, and this is the one I draw my originals on, but it has a hard time going through the printer. It's a little bit too thick. Also, I think I'm going to be trying to work on doing some that are 11 by 17 that I can actually mail to you, bigger ones that you could get that when you frame them, they'll be really big masterpieces. So that's just some stuff I have in the works for y'all. So stay tuned. So now let's get started on this little baby. So I'm going to turn this one over because I like coloring on a picture, on a piece of paper to keep my the paper smooth when I'm drawing. I don't like anything underneath it. You can get little bumps and stuff like that under your paper. And if you're doing it, well, this one's not. Well, this one's actually in my coloring book, which is actually in my Etsy store too. It's part of that book. Or you could just buy just the individual picture. I don't know what it is. I think it's $1 or $2 or something for this. Okay, so now here's what we're gonna do for this background. This is what you need. Okay, we need this is pale sage. Okay, which is right here. Here I'll get close on this in case you want to pause it and you can. All right. So we need pale sage. And then olive green, and then moss green, lime peel. Okay, so these ones right here are the ones that you need for this. And I hold them in my hand when I'm doing backgrounds because I switch. I'm going to be switching from all of these colors. And I'm going to try to make this easy for you. Now, to do a background like this does take a while. This took me a good 2 hours to do this background. But you know, I was watching TV while I was doing it and doing things on and off. So I'm going to turn it like this so that I could work and film at the same time. And I also need to turn on a light, so let's try that. Hopefully that light will not be too bright. I don't think it is. I think we're okay. All right. Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to do when you do the background is we're going to get the pale sage out here. And you see how I did this background back here where it looks like a little watercolor. And if you do them in light and pastel, that's how it'll look. Okay, if you do them in a darker color like this up here, this is what this one looks like. But I've already got this much done, put this much work into it, so I'm just gonna finish it like this. All right, so let's begin. So you take the pale sage here and you just get your colors and you just go in like a circular motion like this, and you just put the color in, and you maybe put another one over here, okay, and then you put another one maybe over here, and there's really no rhyme or reason to it, but I'll do it with a darker color so you could see what I mean. Let's do this one. Okay, so what you do is you take, this is the, I need the olive green. Okay, so with the olive green, what I'm going to do here is you just make it like little circles like this, and this one's got like I'm going kind of like a up and a down so that it looks kind of like a like bushes, you know, like maybe I'll do some this way and do some this way. Okay, and so I'm just making like little squigglies, right? Just like this one's coming in like this. Maybe this one will come in over here, and I want it maybe like this. Okay, and then I'll take another color. This is the moss green, for example, and then I'll just go over this and do the same thing. Just like this, kind of come up in here, and just kind of just throw in these colors like this. It doesn't look like anything when you're first starting. You're like, is this really going to come out good? But it does, especially when it all starts fitting together. So I'm just putting in these colors like so. All right, and then but I go different directions, you know, so like I say, I'll have some going this way like this, and then come up, you know, just like that. And then I'll take another color. This is the lime pill. It doesn't matter which one you do, but I put the sage underneath it, which you don't really totally see, so. But on a white paper, that's what you start off. The reason why this one looks, I've got this background already behind it, because I kind of messed up, but I didn't want to not do this video. Alright, so you see how I'm just putting in that? See how it starts coming together, and then you can just go back and look at it and say, okay, this is maybe maybe need a little bit more of this over here. And then you just start playing with it as far as how you want it to you know, how you want the directions of it to start going. And then you could put in this, when you use this technique like this, you don't have to really, you know, worry about a lot of, you know, things like shading and all that kind of stuff, because it just sort of does it on its own as you're putting in these little squiggly things. See? So when you're doing it, just think of it kind of like a watercolor effect, where you're spreading these colors out like this, and also make the shapes kind of like little, like you're thinking like it's like they're little bushes, because that's kind of what I wanted, like to have it look like foliage behind this tree, like a little forest type thing. So I'm just putting in these colors. You can even go like this if you want, like if you want to speed it up, like because the lime peel is lighter, so just put it in messy, like just kind of, you can do it like this too if you want to speed it up. I'm just showing you different techniques. Okay, see how I just speeded that up a little bit in the process, and then I'll just take another color, and then I'll do, because this is darker, so I want to do it in the little swirlies, because you don't want to go up and down like this with the darker color, because you see what I mean, you'll notice it, but that lime pill is a little lighter, so you can kind of get away with it on that part. So I'm just putting this background in like so. Okay, and then I'm just switching out the colors as I need to. So here's the darker one that shows up the most, so I put this one in here. And as you start putting in these layers is when it starts coming together, and you could start seeing it going, oh, okay, I get it. You know? So you just put them in like so. Okay, it's harder when you get towards this. On the side of the paper, you gotta just deal with it. It's gonna be framed anyways, so it'll be in the frame. Or in this case, it's just a single sheet because you're printing it out. It's not in a book. I mean, it's in the book is available online, so when you print it out, it's just they're all individual sheets, which makes it cool for framing, you know. And it's easier to color too when they're separate sheets like this. But like I said, I want to try to get one that's 11 by 17, a bigger one, and then I'll mail them to you. And then because when you frame it, it'll be a really big masterpieces, and they're going to be bigger, you know, like. Okay, so you see how I'm doing that? I'm just putting in the background. This is cool too because you don't really have to, you know, concentrate as hard on stuff. So this is more like a mind, really relaxing feeling, because you could have the TV on, you can have some music on, you could be sitting in a doctor's office, you know, waiting and just pulling out your little book and working on this. Because there's not really a lot to think about. You're just scumbling in the colors in various ways. You're just, you know, throwing in some color here, throwing in some color over here. Like I said, though, you could do this in any colors you want to. But these are the colors that I'm using for this, so if you want to follow along. But yeah, so you see how this is coming out like this? So now, I mean, you don't really have to be afraid of backgrounds, because a lot of people, you know, when it comes to the backgrounds, they usually just leave the backgrounds alone because they're too afraid to tackle it, you know. So I'm gonna try to. I'll do different backgrounds too. This is just the one I came up for this one. I don't do them all like this, but I just like to do it like this because it's kind of easy, you know. You just throw the colors in and you don't have to really worry about anything. And the reason I'm doing the background first is because a lot of times you'll work on your whole picture, and then you'll do the background last, and then you'll screw the whole picture up. And you're going to say, ah, crap, I hate the background. And you work so hard on the whole picture. So this way, if you start the background first, then you know that you already like it. It's not messed up, and then it'll make you want to do really good and continue, you know, doing a great job. And all of these will start falling into place because your background's already done. You know what I mean? All right. So, and I'm just going to do this whole process just like this, all the way until it's done. All right. And we'll get on to learning some other things. So with this video here, you'll probably have to watch the video and then get the download for it, and then or you know, you could practice this background on any of your coloring books. Really, you don't have to use it on this picture. You can do this on anything. Just do it with different colors. So if you have some books that you have, or some things that have backgrounds that you didn't do, you can go back and do this kind of technique to your background using whatever color palette matches whatever picture you've already done. So now you can actually, yeah, you could do that, practice on that, or just print this one out. Okay, this one's pretty though. I like this with the birds and stuff. Okay, so there we go. So you see how it's all starting to come together? It all it doesn't look like it does when you first start. Like when you first start, you think it's going to come out crappy, and then it starts taking shape as you put the colors in. So when you first start and you think it doesn't look good, just keep going, because it'll eventually start paying off for you, because everything will start blending together. just make sure you have the color tones. You see how these color tones that I have here? I've got the, you know, it's got a darker one, an accent color, which is this one here that gives it the moss green, which gives it a little bit of this brownish kind of a look when it mixes with the lime peel, the yellow, and the pale sage blank parts that you have. Gives it this brownish kind of a yellowy tone. And so I've got these different tones. So if you do it with different colors and you're trying to choose a different color palette, just make sure you have a really light, a medium, a dark, and a darkest. And that's pretty much how I do everything when I'm teaching you how to shade and how to blend. It's always the 4 shades. Sometimes it's just 3. Sometimes you can use just 2, like a light and a medium. You don't want to go a light and a dark. That would look too weird. Although you can, and just use a lot of less pressure on your pencil. But I usually have 4 colors. This is my method of extreme coloring. I use 4. Sometimes I use up to 6 or 7 colors. But I haven't gotten to there yet because I want to get you going on these more simpler techniques before we move to advanced techniques. So, and also people ask me if I am have I had a training or anything like that? No, I haven't. I just self-taught. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, and I just learned different cool techniques along my 50 years of, well, 55 years now of living, and I've been coloring since I've been about 3 years old. I've just always loved it. I remember every time I would stay home sick from school, my mom would buy me coloring books, and I would always look forward to working on the coloring books. And even back then, my coloring books, I just didn't scribble. I would always outline the little areas first and then color them in. And I actually, when I was a little kid, did art shows. It was pretty funny. My mom would take me to church. She's got a Latvian background, Latvian and German, and they had this Latvian church, and I would play the piano there. My parents, like I told you, they're all in the show business, and if I haven't, or if you haven't followed me, my father is the actor Marlon Brando. He played the Godfather. He's an iconic actor. It's kind of a big deal, really. And my mom played she was a big model in New York, and she also played Helga on the show Hogan's Heroes. So they were all into the showbiz thing. So I guess that's why they had me do like music recitals and show me off. I don't know what the deal was, but that's kind of how it was. But I remember doing an art show, and I all the people, they were like freaking out, like going, "Oh my gosh, you're so good!" Like, and it just made me like get encouraged. And when I look back and I think, "Oh man, those pictures." Like I did a lion. For some reason, I just remember I did this lion once, and I think I sold it for, like, back then it was like $200, which was a lot of money back then. But it was really, really big. I took a big, like a poster board, and I did it on there, and somebody has that somewhere, unless, who knows. But I remember, and I just felt so good, and all the compliments just encouraged me. Encouraged me, I guess, along the way, and I just kind of just stuck with it. And so now I'm teaching my kids how to do it. My son is actually working on one right now, and the video should come out on that one. I gave him the owl that I taught you guys how to do, and he's never colored before. Like, he's a guy, he doesn't. And I asked him, I said, Justin, just try it, because he saw my pictures and just started getting interested. And I said, just try it. He's like, I can never do that. And I go, well, yeah, but you can. And so I gave him the worksheet, and I'm not teaching him, like, he's not sitting next to me, and I'm not showing him anything, because I want to see how somebody that never colored before can watch a little bit of my videos and just take the color worksheets and the color by numbers that I give and make a picture without any kind of training or anything like that. And I'm so curious. So he's working on it right now, and he's just practicing doing the shading and getting used to the pencils, because if you've never colored before at all, you don't know how the colors lay down. You don't know how the pencils work. You don't know how to get the feel of the the pressure, like what kind of pressure to use when you're shading. So and what's kind of cool is, as I see the struggles he's going through, then I'll make videos to help with that. And I already know I need to make another one on some shading. So on this video here, I'll do more of the shading techniques for you. That way you're going to learn how to do these. So hopefully, and I never know how these videos are going to come out. There's one video I did of that butterfly wreath that I couldn't finish because even I messed up. I didn't like the way it came out, so I had to kind of scrap the rest of that video. But I do have the part that I did up there if you get a chance to see that video. And the picture is up, so you can use the same techniques and just finish the picture, but that one doesn't have a little corresponding video or a color sheet worksheet with it because I kind of messed up. So I never know. So now I've kind of learned my lesson. I'm not going to put the videos up until I know I've finished the picture. So if this video gets messed up, then you would never know about it because I won't put it up. But if you see it, if you are actually watching this video right now, that means that it worked out. Okay, so that's a good thing. Okay, because I try not to put it up if it comes out crappy. So anyway, so you can see how I'm doing this. I'm just putting these colors together, and now you can see how it's all starting to come together, you know. And when I get closer to the tree in here, you want to, you know, I'm putting it a little darker because I want it to accentuate the you know, the areas like down in here. See how I'm just making it a little darker in here just because I like it, I want it to be darker towards the tree. So that's just me, but you know, whatever. So you just go in here, and now I probably need my pencil a little sharper to get in these areas, but you know, as you fill in, it'll all, like if I get some of this green onto this leaf, it doesn't really matter because, you know, it's all going to be blending together anyways. But I am trying to be as neat as I can. My pencil should be sharpened. Okay, so you got the idea here. Now see how when I first started how it looked, and now see how it just all comes together. And then you can, if you see any areas where you say, okay, well maybe like this area here is too dark and it doesn't blend in, then just take a little bit of a darker color, and then you could just kind of mess with it until you can get, you know, a shape that you like. And so, and because there's so many layers on this, you can just keep working it and just keep working it and keep working the layers, and don't give up. You know, you just, and it pays off. You just got to stick with it and put the time in, and it will come out. Just keep, you'll be surprised. You just got to keep working on it, you know. And you got to take a break once in a while because your hand might hurt, because you know it's a constant motion of your hand doing this. Mine's doing okay, which is surprising because I have arthritis, but it's working out pretty good so far. So see, I'm just putting these together like so. And then like in here, it's a little lighter. I actually kind of like that, but maybe I'll darken it up a little bit, and I'll say, I'll go back in and, you know, kind of work with it. Because if you put some accents that are darker near areas, it makes it pop out. So see, like if I make this darker in here, now it stands out. This in here stands out a little bit more on the sides. Like see in here, if I want that tail feather to really stand out, I'll just go around it and then bring the color in here. But see, I made it, makes it pop out a little bit, and then you just, you know, graduate the color in. You know, because so that it kind of blends in with the rest of your shmuzma. Shmuzma! I made a new word. Is that a word? Shmuzma. What the heck? Lisa, you're being a weirdo. Okay, so, like so, alright? So just continue it until you get this whole background done. And I'm going to go out here with this camera so you could see the idea of it. Alright? So that is how it's going to look in the background, and you could just go play with it. Like I could see areas in here I probably might want to touch up. But it's always best if you start lighter and then you can add more colors to go darker. Because like I say, I was doing this background back here, and it just turned into this background back here. So you never know. But I'm just using the greens for this, and I hope it comes out good, that these birds still stand out as like this one here. If you do a light background, obviously this will stand out more. You could do them in blues and make it look like a sky back there. Or you could do like the bottom, you could do the bottom half in this foliage, grassy, foresty kind of colors, and then do the top in a pastel, and maybe make like a shape, like a half a circle here, like this, maybe, of the grassy area. If you just make a straight line with grass and then a straight line with the lighter colors for sky, it would look kind of weird. So you maybe want to make it, you know, like a little swirlies. You could even make little mountains back in the back. There's a lot of things you could do with this one, so you can have a lot of fun with your background on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish it, and then when I come back, it'll be done, and we'll move on to another part of this video. Alright, so have fun, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so let's start on this flower right here. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put a base of here on Deco Pink, and I'm just going to do a nice light base of this flower. Okay. And then just do this on all the petals, nice and light. I'm not even putting it dark at all. I'll just do 2 here. I'll show you how to do that. So put a nice little base of that color on here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some non-photo blue. And with the non-photo blue here, actually it's got to be kind of sharp. So I better sharpen the pencil here. Okay. And what we're going to do is start here and just go. Now I'm going to have like a line of light going around in a circle here, like this. So we're just going to bring out the blue to about here. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, and just kind of bring it in like so. Here, let me go come up. That was not good. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So here's where my line is going to be here, and I kind of in my mind know it's going to be like right around there. So that's where the highlight is going to be on the flower, and you just flick the color in like so, just like I'm doing. Just flick it in, little lines. Okay, and then after we do the processed blue, then let's grab some of this Copenhagen blue, and we're going to bring it down to start putting in a little bit more the shading in here, like so. See, that's good. Okay, natural little petals. See how and you go the way that the flower is going. So if it's bending this way, you want to keep your lines kind of, you know, flowing in the same way that the petal is going. Okay, now what we're going to do now is, if you know the color wheel, you know that red and blue make a purple, right? I've shown this color combination before on one of my videos for electric flowers, so I thought I'd put one of the flowers on here so you could actually use the electric flowers that I showed you how to do. So you take, this is processed red, and since red and blue make a purple, it'll make a nice purpley look to it. And we're just going to put the processed red in here, like so. Okay, see how it's turned a nice, really nice purple color? And it's hard to get purple from Prismacolor, so this is a really good way to make a nice purple. They have the Diox purple, but it's just, it looks better when you make it yourself. Okay, so see what I did? I just put this nice little petal in here like this, and I'm just playing with it till I like it. You don't want to overdo it, because you want the colors to shine through. And I'm putting a little bit of it, little streaks, kind of nice light little streaks in the flower just to make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, now to top it off here, we're going to add some mulberry. We're going to add some mulberry in here, and the mulberry just gives it a nice finish to the flower. Gives it nice, deepens the richness of the purple. Just put him in like that. Okay. So see, that's how that one comes out. So let's do another one. So we've already based this one in some Deco Pink, so I'll put a little bit more in there. Then we're going to take the non-photo blue, and we're going to come around, and we're going to kind of keep the same line going around here, like this. Okay, and then come up like so. Okay, it's coming up. All right. Then we're going to add the Copenhagen blue. Put the Copenhagen blue in here. Just put the colors in, nice, good. And then after the Copenhagen blue, we're going to get the processed red and put in the processed red color. Okay. And then do the same thing. It's nice flicking techniques. That's my style. Everyone has their own. You could fill it in however you like, but this is how I do it. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to put in the mulberry to finish it off, right? See how it's starting to already get that nice, really cool little look around it. These are a good way to do irises also. Okay. And then we're just going to do that same thing all the way around the flower. Okay, so I figured out here what I want to do on this flower, and these are the colors that we need for that. Okay, which is Deco Yellow, Spanish Orange, Pale Vermilion, and Poppy Red. So what we're going to do first is I want to take the yellow, and we're going to bring it in the middle of the little petal here with the Deco Yellow. Okay, and just do the same thing, the flicking method. You just got to learn how to get that together and get your hand to be able to use to do that. And then you take the next one, which is the Spanish Orange, and then do the same thing. And you want it darker in the middle, because that's where, you know, the shade's going to come out, and you want it, and you can always, like in here, maybe you want it, I want it a little more, so I'll put a little bit more in there. Okay, and so then now we're going to take the Pale Vermilion and start from this end and just go down with the same technique, just bringing your color down into where the yellow is. And make it sort of light at first, and then you can make it darker as you decide you want it darker. So now I'm going to start adding a little bit more of the little line. You know, I like the little flicks. That, like I say, that's my technique, because I like to have the lines kind of going through the petal, because I like to make my flowers look a little bit more natural, you know, and I think that having the little lines makes it look more like petals. I mean, you know, more botanically correct. Is that a word? Okay, so see, I just kind of put that in. Now I can maybe make it a little darker, the tips. Just kind of bring it down a little bit. Okay, until you're happy here with the petal. And then now we're going to add the Poppy Red. Same way, but just don't go all the way down. You want to just go, you know, you can bring some of them down lower, but you want to keep that. Okay. All right, and keep it kind of going. I'm going to make it, I want the lines to go towards the middle of the flower base. Okay, and then if you need to, you could take some more of the yellows and kind of bring them up a little bit, just to carry the color naturally into the petal. Maybe darken it towards the middle. There we go. See? That's pretty. I like that color. Alright, and then we're just going to do the same thing again. The middle. You don't want to come out too far here, because you're going to kind of like that. Put your orange in the middle like this. Okay, bring the colors out a little, like a little burst of sunshine. Okay, then start with your Pale Vermilion and bring that. You can make the base like this if you, oops, I got a little something on my paper. And you can bring a little base if you want, nicely along the edge, and then just go along the way that the flower's bending. See the way the flower's bending like that? It's a real natural look to the flower. See how it has that flow, that it's going towards the middle of the petal. Okay, now I'm just kind of refining the edges a little. Get it so it's really pretty on the outside. Nice, beautiful flower. Okay, now we'll take the poppy red and then put the poppy red on the side here. Just to give it a natural flow. Okay, and then just do that on all the petals. Okay, then once you've done all that, I think we'll do maybe take this the Spanish orange and then just maybe do these little ends in that. I guess that would look good. Tie that flower together in there, and then I'm gonna do the stamens. Let's take one of the greens that we were using. How about the let's try the lime peel. And then let's just put the lime peel in the little thingies here. And I wonder if I want to do that black. Maybe I will. Let's try to do the tips in these in the black. Let's see how that comes out. Well, we can't really take that one away once we do that. Maybe, yeah, do that in the black. And then, let's see. Maybe we'll do... Let's see, I don't know if I want to do this in black. Maybe, let me try and see if I like it in the red. And the red doesn't really stand out. Yeah, it does. I think I'll just do it in the red. I think if I did it in the black, it would maybe be too much. So I'm just going to do these in the red. Yeah, that looks good. Because, like I say, if we did it in the black, I think it might be a little too much. Okay, so that looks good. And then let me sharpen the pencil, and I think I'll do these in red too. Every other one of these little diamonds, and bring the red in. You gotta have a sharp pencil for that. Yeah, that looks good. So I think, you could do any color you want. You could do blue. Well, whatever. This is just kind of what I'm pulling out here. Okay, here we go. Okay, that one looks pretty. You might want to see if you can darken the tips to get a little darker. You just kind of mess around with it until you're, again, happy with how that one's coming out. I think it's better if the tips are a little bit, darker, so I'm just darkening them here, just putting a little bit more detail. Okay, all right, that's a really pretty. I like that one. Okay, so now let's do and move on to a different element of this picture. Okay, so next let's do these little guys right here. So I'll show you how to do it on this one right here. What we're gonna need for that is gonna be non-photo blue, true blue, blue denim, and then some Indian throne blue. Okay, so what we're going to do here is let's take your little handy dandy non-photo blue here and just make a nice light base of blue. Just nice and light, don't push hard, just nice and lightly, just feather it in. Nice and lightly, just feather it in. Okay, then we're going to take this blue here, which is our the true blue, and nice and lightly start at the bottom and then just feather it up to the top. Just in a nice gradual way. See, just feather it up like this. And then here, just do the same thing. Feather it up. Remember, we can always go darker. So just feather it up nicely like this. Okay, now let's just add a little bit of this denim blue to the bottom. A little bit of the denim blue, just to give it a little oomph. You don't need too much. Just follow the lines, the way that the lines go on this pretty little bud. Okay. And then we'll add some of the True Blue. I think I already did True Blue, didn't I? Yeah, I did the True Blue. Silly me. Alright, well I'm just going to add a little more then. Alright. Now we'll do the Indian Throne Blue now. We just want to add that to make your bud a little bit deeper. See how I'm at the base right here is where you want it to have a little bit more color, and then just lighten up the pressure on your hand as you feather it up. Okay, and then you don't want too much. You can always add more. Okay, just follow the line that's here that I put. You just follow that line up. You can maybe even, if you want, here. Now I sharpen my pencil because in here I want to have a depth, so I'm just going to put it a little bit, follow the V, and then just kind of feather it up along these sides like this. See how you just kind of bring the color up, and so that the tips are nice and light. See that? And it's got the little accent, so you might maybe want to put a little maybe darker at the base like this. And you just work on it until you're happy. There you go. La la la. Okay. And so that's that little guy. Now let's do another element. Okay, for the next flower, let's do these little guys right here. Okay, so what we're going to need for that is going to be, we're going to need some jasmine, some mineral orange, and some burnt ochre. Ochre or ochre, I don't know how you say it, but whatever, you know what I mean. All right, so what we're going to do now is you're just going to base it in the jasmine, just like this. Base it in the jasmine. Nice and light. Okay. And do the middle too. So just do the whole flower. Okay. Then you're going to take your mineral orange and just nice and lightly just put it, follow the way it goes, and feather it in so that it blends nicely into the top. And you want to leave the bottom with the yellow. So don't go crazy with doing too much on it, otherwise it'll just look like an orange flower and you won't show any of that yellow. So you want to make sure you let the yellow shine through, and just bring it along the tips. Just do the tips of the flower, of the petal. So just bring it around like so, and just feather it in. Feather it in, and then you can see how I turn it to match. You know, so it's comfortable for me because I'm right-handed. So if you need to turn your paper like I do, just turn it so that you're comfortable. I like to pull it towards me. Some people work the opposite way. It's weird. Everyone's color is different. Okay. So then now you take your burnt ochre, which is the next color, and now don't do too much again. You want the mineral orange to shine through. So this is just, see, this is just to add the drama, the extreme coloring method. Okay, my little method. Okay, so we want to just come around like this. Okay, now do the same thing around all these little petals. Again, not too much. You want the mineral orange. Now in this case too, we want the mineral orange to shine through. So you don't want to cover up the mineral orange. You just want to kind of just do the tips. I don't have to do everyone the same. Just okay. Do the tips really nicely. Put the tips in here. Alright. And then for the base, come around the little middle of the petal. Just come around like that. And then bring some of that color from the base out into the petal, but just a little. Just nice and lightly. Just so that it gradually comes out from the petal. And then maybe you want to scribble just a little bit inside there. Okay? And there are those little guys. Alright, let's get on to the next element. Okay, next I want to show you here how we're going to do these really cool flowers. These are actually really fun to do. It's a little bit different of a technique, so we're going to start here. Now the colors we need, let's go to our chart, are going to be blush pink, we need grayed lavender, we need some dahlia purple, And then we're going to actually do some blending this time, and we're going to blend it with some Deco Pink, and we're going to add some white for highlights. So you wouldn't think that with a little flower like this you're going to need as much, but you do if you want to get this kind of a look. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take, and we want to base it with the blush pink right here. So you just take your, here, let's put it right here, okay, and you're going to, let me make sure I'm in the right area. All right, and we're gonna put a nice base in, and do pretty light. You know, just don't like use a real heavy pressure. Just lightly put the color in. Okay, just lightly. Some people, they tend to push too hard. You don't want to do that. Sometimes you do, but when you don't on this case. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this grayed lavender here. And you just lightly go along the edges of it where you're going to have a little bit of a shadow. Come down the middle a little bit and just lightly put this in. You probably can't even barely even see it on the videotape. Okay, because you're just lightly putting this in. Okay, and just on the tips. So very lightly. I don't even know, like I say, if you can even see that. I don't even think you can. There, maybe, let's see. How about that? So let's come in this close for this. So see, we just very, very lightly, you're putting in this grayed lavender, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to add the dahlia purple, and we're going to come along the edge and just the top of it, okay? And then we're going to start bringing in a little bit of color, and you can do it in little teeny circular motions with a little bit of feathering down the sides. See what I mean? So you don't have too much. You don't want too much at all. And then you could put it a little heavier. Once you have your little base in, put it a little heavier so you can get that little accent. Now you see it, you could try to do it where you blend, and I'm saying just very lightly, like barely touch the paper to blend that tip in. Okay, see how I'm barely blending that? Then when you come down here, you push really hard down here at the bottom and just flick it up. And you want to put the tips down here to be really dark. So you just, because that's what's going to give it the accent. And then just kind of carry it out very slightly out to the sides. See, I told you these ones are really fun. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing over here. Yeah, so you're lightly put in the purple. Alright, just lightly, like this. Very lightly put the purple in. Okay, and then you can make it a little darker where you sort of want your little accents, and then kind of bring it down, okay? And make sure this is nice and dark on the tip. Okay, then you're going to take your, this is probably too close. I don't want to get you dizzy. I don't even think it's focusing anymore. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to take the, this is the Deco Pink. And so you got to kind of, with each one of these flowers, or each one of these little leaves, we want to figure out where you want the highlight. So in this case, I want mine here. So I'm going to take my pink and I'm going to blend this whole area in. See how I'm coming around in a circle here? Like this. But don't go all the way to the top, because if you do, it's going to wash out this purple. So you just kind of blend it in like this, and you go up from down here to blend the color in. Okay, alright, and just blend that color in. Alright, and then now you could do the same thing up here a little bit. These ones take a little bit of work, but that's what makes it so fun. So you put a little bit here, then you take your white, and with your white, start in the middle, and then just make your little highlight. Alright, and then you can kind of blend in the tips, blend it in a little, and then just use your pencil to kind of work it through. You could put it wherever, you know, I'm putting a little in here too. I mean, whatever. Put it in here. Alright, now if it gets washed out a little bit, just take your purple again and then just add it back in. Alright. Add it back in. Just because you really want that darker on the top, because that's how you get that really nice, oh gosh, I hope I was in the camera there. This is how you get that really nice purple. effect. You want it to really look good, outstanding, right? And then you can also you take your gray lavender if you want, and maybe add a little bit, like if you really want to spend some time on there, just to really get the layer in of that gray lavender. And you bring the color out. You can put a little bit of that gray lavender in here for a little bit of a shadow on that line. Okay, and that's how you do that one. Okay, unfortunately I just found out that my battery died, and I don't know when that happened. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do another one for you. So let's take the blush pink, and we're going to base it in the blush pink. Okay, nice and lightly. Don't want it too heavy. So just put your blush pink in. Okay, then you're going to take your grayed lavender, and where you want your little shadows, they're going to be here at the tip. So you want to put your, just a little bit, and like I say, I don't know if you can see this or not, as far as, because I'm putting it in lightly. I don't want anything real heavy. So you just lightly put it up here, and lightly on the tips, and just very ever so lightly. You don't think it matters, but it does. If you leave one of the steps out, you won't get that really good effect. Okay, so then you're going to take the dahlia purple, and you come right along the edge of the tip. Okay, and you can do along the tip here too if you want. And don't go all the way down, because then it'll just look too much. Okay, maybe in here, like where this is sort of got washed out a little, you want to add a little. Okay, and you just very light hand. Like in here I saw it could use a little more. So you constantly work on these. That's why these ones are really fun to do, because there's a lot going on with these. All right, now you very lightly, ever so lightly, you can do just lightly, little circles if you want, and then kind of feather it in, feather it down, like that. Just feather it down with our normal, the way that we feather. Okay, and then just bring that around here to create, and make sure you come around. Okay, and then do the same up here. Okay, and you just want to very lightly, again, light touch, barely touching the paper, and you're just going to do it in layers. If you do it too hard, it's going to look more like cartoonish, and it'll look not as good. Okay, come down here very lightly. Then you're going to start heavy up here and bring your tips out. That one's actually got a little bit too much. You just want to do the tips. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of some of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this white, and I'm going to get rid of some of that by blending it in, because I just want the tips. And then now I'm going to use my white to highlight this area here. Okay, and you can see that it gives a little bit of that dust from your pencil, and that's okay. You can use that to your advantage by using it to blend, or you can get rid of it like that. When we're this far advanced into the picture, you might want to use a little brush to start dusting it. My brush isn't sitting here, it's probably in my other office. But you can use your brush to blow away the dust, or, but be careful, because your colors can start smearing into your other pictures, your other area. And then in here I'm going to take that, the Deco Pink, and I'm going to put that in here. Maybe a little down here. You can even use white on the whole thing if you want. Okay, and then if it gets washed out, you just go ahead and you put it back in, because you really want that dramatic effect of these flowers. These are so fun to do. You could do these all day. All right, and then you just work with them, and the longer you work with them, the better. But you don't want to do, like I say, you don't want to be too much of the color. And see, like right here, it's washed out a little bit, so come back in and then just re-add it, and then just feather it in. Okay, just like so, and just work with it until it's perfectamundo. Okay, and then should I just do another one? I don't know how long this video is, but that's okay. Maybe I'll just do it in parts. Let's just do another one, because these are a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna put the pink in. Alright, nice and lightly, put the pink in. Remember, practice makes perfect. Okay. And these are great leaves because, you know, a lot of times you get so sick of doing green leaves, so you can, in your coloring books, you can start knowing how to do different colors for your leaves. Okay, so now down here, we're going to do the same thing, only this one is coming down this way. It's an upside down leaf. Okay, so we're going to put the little shade in here. Throw some shade on it, man. All right, and we're going to come up here. Okay, just very little. Okay, then we're going to put our dahlia purple in here. We're gonna, like so, and just put it in, feather it in, feather it down, feather it down, and make a little line, very light. You don't want to, like I say, don't make a real heavy line. But here you want it heavy, so you could push harder here. See, I'm pushing hard here just to get it enough pigment on there so it'll blend nice. And then, see, takes a little while to do that, no, but look at how good it looks. It's totally worth it. Okay, now you start here at the tip, and then you just want the tip nice and dark. So you just bring it in. And feather it up so that you can blend it. And to blend it, you just feather it up and let the pencil do your work. Just take a little time and just blend it up. All right, now you take your white and then use that to blend. So take the white here where you want to highlight, start in the middle where you want your highlight, and then roll your pencil out towards the sides. And then when you start getting the colors mixed together, just kind of come down here a little bit. Don't go all the way into where the color is, because if you do, then you're going to get rid of that. You're going to wash it out, but sometimes you need to, like I just had to there. So I'm going to use the white here again. I didn't even use that blush pink. I just used the white this time on this one because it's up so high, and I'm using this to blend down, to blend this color down, the dahlia purple into the flower, and then I'm going to put it back in right here where it kind of got washed out a little. And I just lightly put the color back in, so it makes it not so muted, or you know what I mean. I want the color to be really stark. I don't know how this shows on camera, but it's really pretty from where I'm sitting. Okay, so that is how you do these flowers. And then what we're gonna do is I want okay, let's take a look at the overall picture of it. And I'm going to do all of these, and I'm going to do these, and then I'll do these down here so that all this carries around. I'm not sure if I will do a different color up here. However you decide to do it with the leaves, I'm not sure if I want to do a different color. I'm just trying to think while I'm looking at it, because when I'm looking at it on camera, it sort of looks a little different. I think I'm going to do them all the same. That way it keeps a uniform consistency throughout the whole thing, because otherwise it's going to be too busy, because these birds are going to be pretty colorful. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do all of these leaves here, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so I did all of the flowers here, as you can see, and I think I'm going to end the video here. And then I will put the next one on video 2, and I will have all this up for you because this will probably take a little bit for you to do. So by the time I add more and add another video, you'll hopefully would have finished this. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.